Have you been pining to know who to pin your passion on in Elden Ring, needing to know which characters will truly match your freak in order to help limit those fanfiction searches? Well, you're in luck, because my YouTube account's main cultural export right now is segmenting Souls content into arbitrary categories. The name's Rare, a professional Elden Ring challenge runner with an overactive imagination and hyperfixation for this game, frankly. And today we're counting down Elden Ring's top 10 most dateable denizens. I don't know why y'all wanted this one so bad. Actually, scratch that. I know y'all are as touch deprived as me, but this one was particularly difficult to make simply because it's so much funnier smearing lands between losers than lusting for them. But to make sure I did my best, I mentally mated with every single speaking adult in this game to come up with this list. So y'all better be grateful, because I feel a little dirty now. Anyway, same as my top 10 worst lovers list, the only eligibility requirement I'm making is that the character's gotta be adults capable of human speech in order to be able to form romantic bonds. Additionally, I'm ranking them based on their current physical and mental state in the game. I don't give a damn if you would date old Radon. I'm living and dating in the present, not afternoon delighting in the past. And of course, since this is the best lovers video, there's going to be references to coitus and other adult activities. I just want to give you a heads up so you don't blame me if God marks you as missing on the heaven waitlist. Finally, before I get into the ranking, just remember that this is my personal list based on my own extensive research of the lore and thousands of hours in the game. So you arguing that I'm wrong and you're right is about as wanted as a man in the urinal over talking unsolicited to me when I'm peeing in a public restroom. That being said, negative engagement is good engagement, so actually, have at it. Alright, let's get into it.
Number 10.
Egon. Well, if it isn't our favorite little Captain Ahab homage. Egon is by far my favorite NPC in Shadow of the Erdtree for the voice acting performance alone. Honestly, they could have made the entire DLC about his character because in the smattering of short encounters and lore I scrounged up, I was so invested in his quest for revenge while fighting through his own injuries. God, I just want to suck all the pain, the exquisite pain out of his... Moving on. Now enough of my personal gushing. What can be said unbiasedly about Egon's romantic prospects? I know it's strange to think that one of the greatest lovers can come out of the Lands Between's biggest hater.
I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk.
But hear me out. As the old adage goes, and according to several real studies, the brain's nervous circuits used for hate are the same as those that are used during feelings of romantic love. These scientific findings could explain why both hate and romantic love can result in similar acts of extreme behavior. For example, wanting to spear skewer a demonic dragon is similar to wanting to spear skewer your loyal bedfellow, albeit with a different build and weapon. My point is, Egon is a man of passion to the point of obsession and loyal to his cause. He's also humble though. Realizing he alone would not be able to take the likes of that damn dragon, he literally bequeaths you the title of true Drake Warrior instead of himself during his great speech. But he also still wants to do his part to fight, despite that his heart is twice overfilled with fear. Like, oh God, Egon, twice overfill me. I mean, my heart! Lastly, a union between you, the Elden Lord, and Egon would bring about a new era, a new age to the Lands Between. Forget it, the Golden Order. It's time for the era of Monster Hunter! Capcom, please don't come after me.
Number 9.
Millicent. Ah, finally, the better millennia. Yes, I said it. As a refresher for anyone wild thornberries enough to forget about her, Millicent is a warrior found in Caelid, stricken with a deadly case of scarlet rot. It's implied that she's related to Millennia, or even was created Fallout Mutant Monster style by Millennia when she nuked Caelid.
Did somebody say boom?
But that's not the lore I'm trying to explore. Most players will have a bit of a rocky first encounter with her as an invasion opponent in the Swamp of Aeonia, but Deadpool and Wolverine had an aggressive meet cute too, and they ended up alright. And after that, you'll be launching into one of the best quests of the game, so no hard feelings. Unlike most of the other NPCs in the Lands Between though, Millicent isn't trying to become Elden Lord, bring about a new age, or assassinate anyone. She just wants to go on a journey of self-discovery for as long as she has left to live. She's a skilled warrior helping you fight the most bosses out of any other NPC at the game, totaling 4. She's self-assured in her skill, but grateful for your assistance, and even though she's got scarlet rot, she's very scarlet hot. Ha! Get it? Rhyming? Ha! Now, let's address the scarlet rot-ridden elephant in the room. Will mating with Millie give you the scarlet clap? Big red blight balls, corrosive crotch crabs, putrefaction of the pubis. Mayhaps, but hear me out. You are a tarnished, and according to Miyazaki himself, tarnished are those who have died outside of the Lands Between, only to be awakened by grace and beckon there. Meaning that you're already some sort of dead or undead or whatever. Either way, every time you die, you respawn into grace anyways, so why not die doing what you love? Her. Au revoir, sweet Millie. I'll mess around with you then miss you, only to come back and do it all again if you'll have me.
Number 8.
Morgot, the Omen King. Morgot has probably the most tragic backstory of anyone on this list. He was primed to be the next Elden Lord, sitting there in Godfrey's shack fiddling with his foreskin, but then he was born, and things took a turn for the worse. I know, he's already so relatable. He was born in a cursed omen, confined to a sewer prison, broke free somehow, and instead of enacting revenge on his family, he fought as valiantly as an old man in rags wielding a walking stick for a weapon could for the Golden Order, to the point where he was even given the title Grace Given. While the other demigods fought each other and marred the lands between, Morgot stood steadfast, protecting the seal on the Erd Tree from being burst open like a piñata. He chose to defend the corrupt institution that deemed him worthless because he believed in it, and wanted to try to better the world he saw. He became the defender of what he viewed as the source of life in the lands between. Now, on to the juicy part. What can we ascertain of him as a paramour? Well, clearly Morgot is a more traditional guy that had a bad childhood but came out alright despite it. According to his remembrance, though born out of the graceless omen, Morgot took it upon himself to become the Erd Tree's protector. He loved not in return, for he was never loved, but nevertheless, love it he did. So walk with me. Imagine if he was loved, and you were the one to give it to him. He has been isolating himself, alone so long because of a curse, that he's even referred to as the Veiled Monarch. So imagine if some companionship was introduced. I truly believe his prostate would become putty in your hands. He'd be doting on you all day. He would be caught rustling your hair, saying, "Tarnished, thou art a fool, but thou art my fool." He'd let you rat-tattoo him by his pubes, and he'd give you nothing but love and loyalty in return. Together, y'all would take up the mantle as protectors of Leyndell. In fact, I think after a little bit of love, he'd happily co-sign your claim to the Elden Throne, and then y'all could live happily ever after, culling noobs in Stormvale on your off hours.
Number 7.
Raya. Raya is the incredibly sweet young woman, question mark, who serves as a recruiting scout for Volcano Manor, and also just so happens to secretly be a serpent creature, which may make her even better for some of y'all. If you go through Raya's quest, you find out that she doesn't even know the true purpose of Tanith's tarnished scouting, or that Tanith isn't even her real mother at all. Her journey of self-discovery is sad and heartfelt, but can lead to a good ending, at least by EldenRing standards, that analyzes the meaning of humanity and finding true purpose despite having a dark past. She is a complete cinnamon roll, or should I say snake-amin roll? Okay, not my best. In fact, I debated taking her off this list for being too sweet and naive. Like, her breast milk is probably treated as holy water in some provinces. She's that sweet. But by the end of her questline, if you vanquish Rykard, but don't succumb to her, self-sacrificial wishes, then she'll have departed the shelter of Volcano Manor, leaving you with a heartfelt message sharing her future plans and claiming you to be her champion, which I interpret as a big ol' "thank you for not turning me into snakeskin boots in my moment of weakness so I can experience the world outside of my bubble, then one day come back to you to bear our sweet mutant snake babies that Grandma Tanith will watch over on Sunday afternoons while we sip on Ricardi rum and cokes at the castle balcony." But I've never been too good at analyzing the subtext of text, so who knows? Either way, Raya would treat you righta.
Number 6.
Molina. I'm truly getting hubristic in my script writing if I'm saying this, but up next is the best FromSoft level up waifu, Molina. There's a ton of lore and theory to dive into here with Molina, but I'm gonna stick to the bare boners and extrapolate from there. What we do know is that Molina is a mysterious spectral woman who forges an alliance with the player character, giving you supernatural skills in exchange for hitching her a ride to the Erd Tree, which is a redonkulously good deal in my opinion. It's kind of like your parents giving you a brand new car in exchange for taking your younger sibling to the park and back. From there, Molina acts as a guide, and her purpose evolves in the story, but there's always been something evocative about the way she relays lore and clearly has motivations of her own in contrast to like Dark Souls 3's Firekeeper, for instance. Besides all that though, let me spell out the reasons why Molina is a knockout and would make a wonderful IRL waifu. First, she's a kind and supportive partner. Even when she's being burned like a charred piece of hot dog that fell to the bottom of the barbecue grill at the Giant's Forge, she dies hoping that your ambitions are realized and thanks you for everything you've done for her. Second, she gives you your best friend in the whole wide world, Torrent. That's gotta count for everything. And as far as rah-rah romantic times go, I mean, she's only got one eye, so you'll only look half as bad to her, especially in the dark. Yeah, there's the rub that she's a ghost, but Ray from Ghostbusters seemed to have a good time getting phantom fellatio, so I think you two will be able to figure things out just fine.
Number 5.
Rala, Queen of the Full Moon. Rala, not her sister Ralana. I must clarify, since Elden Ring parents are too lazy to do more than switch around a couple letters in a name before branding their babies forever with a life of, oh, sorry, did I say Ralana? I meant Rala. My bad. Anyways, Rala is the founder and ruler of the Carrion House that led a fierce campaign across the lands between with like just 20 guys until she fought Queen Marika's army over a territorial dispute. There she fought against Marika's champion, Radagon, in hand-to-hand combat, which switched over swiftly to gland-to-gland combat once he caught the love bug. Either that or he had a foot fetish, cause great googly moogly, look at those huge she-hooves. Colossal kickers aside though, Rala canonically demonstrates a lot of love and dedication to her chosen partner. She gives up carrion warmongering to try the tradwife thing for a spell. She is loyal and honors commitment, having 3 demigod children with Radagon until he walked out on her ass like Aragorn to his destiny for 67 years. And unlike someone a little more heartless who would get over Radagon by getting under someone else, she is truly devastated by her love lost. And it demonstrates how devoted she was to him in the first place. At least she got the dog in the divorce. Call me Rala, whichever one has lower standards, frankly.
Number 4.
War Counselor Egon. Egon is the gentle giant who once served as the Carrion royal family's blacksmith, but by the time you come across him in the game, he serves as Ranni's war counselor. Being a war counselor, y'all could really mix work with pleasure and have a go at turn-based boning. Just think of the possibilities of strategical sex. You could take your time to decide your next move, research weaknesses, try different builds, and after coitus is completed, you get the achievement Fornicator Felled in FromSoft font and everything. And if you're someone who is not enticed by the boom boom blueprint I brought up, then EG is still your guy. He's incredibly loyal as demonstrated by his dedication to Ranni and the advancement of her quest. He's generous with guidance due to his many years of experience and self-sacrificing for the people that he loves. He's clearly worldly and educated. Why else would he have that metal condom on his head if not to protect him from being randomly struck by strokes of genius? And finally, if you're someone like me who's scored a barely passing 3 out of 5 on the AP English language test, then you'll adore how literate he is. He is truly a bibliomaniac. He never takes his eyes off that thing. What's he reading? A Court of Thorns and Roses? The Lusty Argonian Maid? If you date him, you'll find out, and so on the list he goes.
Number 3.
Nephili Lou. I'm gonna try real hard to keep my bias out of this one, but full disclosure, I love her so much and use her axe in all my rune level 1 runs despite the fact that it takes about 3 orbital rotations around the sun to land a blow, even with the new patch updates. Anyways, Nephili Lou is a fellow tarnished warrior you meet on your path to take down the world's most monstrous Mr. Potato Head, aka Godric. She's an honorable defender of the weak and doesn't allow herself to be misled against her convictions, which she finds out about Gideon's true selfish nature during her quest. As a lover, Nephili would be dedicated and loyal. She'd be a true friend, a fierce sparring partner, and would get it on sloppy style until you're shaking and drooling like an undomesticated dog. She's so good looking too, like Morgot, girl, portion out your pretty, please, you're gonna use it all in one go. And for that reason, Nephili is number 3.
Number 2.
Rodrica. Rodrica is a lordling turned spirit tuner that you come across outside of Stormvale Castle directly after her entire company was slaughtered by everyone's favorite Frankenliege, Godric. After she mourns for the in-game 5 days it took me to find the item required to continue her quest, she studies under Smithing Master Hugh and pursues the noble post of leveling up my mimic tier so I could viper parry any boss that stands in my way. Rodrica is genuinely one of the refreshingly kindest and warmest characters in the game. Her arc of unsure maiden who overcomes her doubts and discovers she has a special skill set that she can use to help others just makes me wake in the knees every time. As a partner, she'd support your gallivanting endeavors, always greet you with a "pleasure to see you," and "thank goodness you're safe." And for the more physical Amogus, I feel like spirit tuning lends itself to all sorts of lewd practices. So go on, have fun, and practice safe spirit relations.
Honorable mentions.
These are some honorable mentions that aren't on my list, but I feel like if I didn't bring them up to defend myself, I'd be lambasted in the comment section below, which honestly helps me out algorithm-wise, so please debate me more, Millennia Fan 782, I'm not driving. And first up is Ronnie. I sincerely don't understand the Ronnie waifu love outside of she's so cute and cool. I have combed through the dialogue and item descriptions, and while I sympathize with her plight for freedom from the two fingers, you must be smoking straight dirt in autumn foliage if you think Ronnie is not exclusively in it for herself. Do I think she was wrong to arguably stage and be a part of a political assassination of the lore's debatably kindest character Godwin in order to initiate a plot to pursue her freedom? But regardless, her personality is cold and calculating rather than warm and loving. She would keep you on the hook saying sweet nothings while you do her chores, then ghost you before she ever returns any affection. You'd get friendzoned, just like Blythe, until you get her ending that, in my opinion, is not the best ending that others may interpret it as and makes you Ronnie's bitch like Radagon was to Marika. Regardless, when it comes to Ronnie, your heart is safer staying maidenless. Next up is Millennia herself. I'm going to be honest with you, y'all need window wipers to clear away the haze of horniness that's blinding you here. Yes, Millennia is hot and badass. I wouldn't have spent an inveritable amount of weeks learning to be her hitless at rude level 1 if I didn't get a little hot and bothered myself by her hatred of me. But she's an honor before reason gal, and thus never gonna love you the way you deserve to be treated. She's the type of Tinder date that would build a base in your bedroom with catapults and lay siege to your entire apartment if her brother asked nicely enough. But Rare, she's under the spell of his compassion. Yeah. Out of all the people that could clamor up a legal defense by blaming Mikola, I wholeheartedly think she's the only one who would just cop to it and be like, yeah, I did it for him and I'd do it again.
Yes, I did that. And you would do it too for a check.
So yes, she's not on the list. Y'all can make a Marie cacophony of complaints about it in the comment section below for all I care, but at least I'm being honest with you, which is more than your mom when she said you looked good in that new sweater you bought because you actually looked great. Yeah, I'm nice to you guys, what of it? Moving on.
Number 1.
Fia the Deathbed Companion. Fia is a deathbed companion who wants to end the persecution of those who live in death by the Golden Order. If you're wondering what a deathbed companion is, then come back to this video after you've taken a health class or two, okay? But basically, it's heavily implied that she copulates with a champion to receive their warmth and vigor, and in exchange gives them a Dark Souls STD, which is kind of like a regular STD except it gives you stat boosts instead of genital warts. Now, why does Necromancer Barbie do this? Well, to grant another chance at life to deceased champions, of course. I kind of like the math of it, actually. Take a little bit of life force from a bunch of people in order to bring back to life one whole person. If my grade school teacher taught fractions that way, I might have actually made something of myself. Back to the topic at hand. Specifically in EldenRing, Fia uses this power along with some good old-fashioned murdering of D to make the mending rune of the Death Prince, which leads to my personal favorite ending where the natural cycle of life and death is returned to the lands between. Anyways, the cock is dicking.
What did she say?
Why does Fia deserve to be number 1 on this list? Well, first, it's canon that she has shown incredible prowess in procreation. This Victoria's spectral model is experienced with all manner of individuals and is sure to know some tips and tricks around the sack. Maybe she can even put a waypoint on my map to help me find where the mythical clitoris is. The other bonus part of her getting around is that she gets a lot of inside intel and hot gossip that she can share with you to further your lore pursuit. She already shares with you how when she was abed with Rodri, he discussed with her intimate details of the famously brutal political assassination, the Night of Black Knives. Guess good dirty talk hasn't yet graced the lands between her legs, but the espionage power couple possibilities are there. She's an activist, she's caring, she's gorgeous, she gave me my first hug, she's a good shag, she has low standards. I don't think you could find a woman better suited for the Tarnished Champion. And that's why Fia the Deathbed Champion is the number 1 best lover in Elden Ring. Thank you again for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it, because I plan on doing a lot more random shit like this in the future, so feel free to give me top 10 category suggestions in the comment section below. I got several other videos like this on my channel right now, including Elden Ring challenge run fights, drinking game challenges, and more mumbo jumbo of the sort. Besides that, I stream live on Twitch every Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday. If you want to make my day and say you came from YouTube, I will just a blush and my heart will go 3 sizes like the Grinch. Besides that, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you again.